Mashers, and welcome back to the Weekly Mash, where we bring you stories worth swooning over, sobbing through, or straight up spiraling for. There's always one of us always has some word that we're just getting tongue-tied on. Anyways, okay. So for today's Weekly Mash, we are floating through folklore and falling in love with the changing seasons because we are chatting with fantasy author Rebecca Grattson. Did I say your last name correctly?
You did, yeah. Yep. Grattson.
Love it.
Yay.
Rebecca's book, Finding Autumn, is a romantic reimagining of Mother Nature and Father Time. We've not read this yet, but of course it is on our TBR. And she's also not just a fantasy writer, but she has some other careers going on. So we'll talk about that later. But Rebecca, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you have going with your book, and then we can ask you some questions about it.
Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, my name is Rebecca. I talk funny, but I am from Northern Ireland, so this is what we sound like.
I love it.
I love it too.
I am not far away from where Jamie Dornan grew up. I didn't grow up with him though. He's considerably older than me, but doesn't stop any girl. Like, that's fine. So yeah, I am the author of Finding Autumn, which is book 1 of the Seasons of Era series. I'm absolutely horrible at selling it, so I don't really know what to say. But basically, it's the love story between Mother Nature and Father Time. Sort of, it's set very locally to where I am in County Down, Northern Ireland. They go on a bit of a journey of self-discovery, battling their inner demons as they go. So it's not just a bit of a fantasy book. It's also about anger management and overcoming being a people pleaser and sort of just working out who you are on that journey. So yeah, book 2 as well is coming out in April. I keep saying that, but I haven't finished writing it. But if I say it enough, it might just happen.
The power of positive thinking. Speak it into
Manifesting
fruition.
positive vibes.
Oh, I love it. I don't remember who I was talking to. Was it last night or this morning? And she was like giving me all the reasons why why she loves being an author. And I'm like, see, I'd be a terrible author. I'd want everybody to know what I'm talking about. Like, if I was a fantasy author, I'd want them to know my world. I want them to know my history. I couldn't edit it. Don't ask me to edit my book. Once I write it once, that's what you get.
Editing's the worst bit.
Hilarious.
Yeah, because I dictate quite a lot of what I write. So when I go back to reread it, it's gibberish because Microsoft Word doesn't understand what I'm saying, or I'm saying words in my Irish language and it's not English, so it gets confused. So it's a difficult edit.
Goodness, that sounds rough.
I know. Yeah, that's why I make a good reader.
Yeah.
Not a good writer. Wish they had AI when I was in high school. Man, I'd be in Fat City.
Oh my gosh, I've seen so many memes that are sometimes I question if I'm good enough, but then I remember I graduated high school and got a master's degree without ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of even degree students or PhD students that are using it, and you're like, do you not know that we know what you've done?
Right.
This is covered in M dashes. This is not your words.
Uh-huh.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
I have been an ELA teacher for middle school for a while. And some of the things that pop on there, oh my gosh, okay, I had a student and the question was, what is an obstacle you overcame this year? Or something like that. And the answer was, I had to give a speech in front of my colleagues at work. You were? You're only 12 years old. So then I talked to him. And I tell him, you have to fix this. So then he tells me that he gave a speech in history class, which I was the history teacher too. And I was like, we didn't do any speeches in history class.
Bless him.
Oh my God. That's the thing, is if you use it, you have to be smart enough to go back and it's not going to do all the work for you.
Use it to help you, not do the work for you. That's what I always tell students.
Yeah.
Okay, let's kick it off with some fun questions now that we've rambled about ChatGPT and all the good things. What inspired you to write Finding Autumn? Did it begin with a love story, the mythology, or the setting of County Down?
I think it actually came out of the sheer boredom of what I was reading. I don't mean that to sound rude, but I was just reading the same books, just told slightly differently. I think that's a meme now. You've heard this story before several times. Now you'll hear it again.
Yep.
I remembered, because it was all based on Greek mythology, quite a lot of the fantasy books we have out there is very Hades and Persephone, Beauty and the Beast. And I was just kind of like, oh, but like I grew up with love stories. Where are the love stories from my culture and my mythology? And when I went to find it, I was determined that somebody out there would have done it. But I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was just becoming so irritated with the world. And it was in the middle of COVID and lockdown, and I all of a sudden had loads of free time. So I thought I'll just write the book. So it started off very, very differently to how it is now. It definitely wasn't going to be a 4-book thing. It was just going to be a one and done kind of, thing. And I wasn't even thinking I would publish it. I would just maybe just put it out into the world. But I just kind of rolled with it, and here we are. So it is a love story that I thought. So when I was writing it, and even after I published it, I thought this was an official Irish mythology story that, my mum told me going to bed at night. I thought this was one of the stories that I was read to as a child. It wasn't until I had like a little book launch that was just family around the house. But my mum was like, Becky, that didn't happen. Like, you've just made this up. And she's like, you did this all the time as a child. You were just constantly telling stories. And I can't believe you're still doing it. You're 30 years of age. And I was like, but I've been telling people this is a story that my mum told me, and it was so heartfelt and beautiful. But it was just something I just made up. And my mind convinced me it was real.
See, this is why we're friends. Because I get told the same thing all the time.
It's true. It is so true. You do that all the time.
I love like telling this heartfelt story about I don't even know how me and Miranda, when we were young, we used to be best friends. We'd frolic in the fields together. We'd do all this stuff, and Miranda, no,
that never happened.
In the garden in the backyard.
We did not even live in that state. What are you talking about?
Like, that's not how I see it. That's not how it was. Well, that's how I remember it.
You have the dreamer perception of things. It's not a bad thing. It's just funny. Oh my goodness. I love that you created a story that you weren't finding. We actually hear that answer a lot, where authors are like, I wanted to write what I wanted to be reading. And so it's great that you were able to find, even if it was a story from your childhood, wherever it came from, and put that into something that other people could enjoy too. If Mother Nature and Father Time were sitting at a coffee shop on their first date, what drinks would they order, and who would talk too much?
They would probably both order Barry's tea, which is just black tea. It's an Irish tea bag. We're really basic over here, so just like straight tea. I don't know, Cian might spike his with some whiskey, just to get through the fact that Ava is going to be doing all of the talking, and he's going to have to sit there and listen to just endless anxiety-driven jibber jabber.
Love that.
It already.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time.
Aw.
It's a good day. It's a good day.
It's a good day to have a good day.
Yes.
I know that we kind of touched on it a little bit, but we'll see if we can mix it up a little bit. So, you based your story on Irish mythology. We already kind of discussed that. Was there a particular myth, legend, or moment in folklore that sparked everything for you? Or did you do a little myth mixing on your own?
I think I have done a little myth mixing. So our Mother Nature in Irish mythology takes up sort of lots of different entities, depending on what you read and what story you read. She might have a different name. She might come from a different part of the world. She might be fae. She might be human. She might be a goddess. It's just lots of sort of jumbly stuff it's just like the Celts' way of telling stories. They tweak it every time it's retold. So I think that's why we have so many versions of Mother Nature. So I have just taken the ones that I wanted, the ones that suited me. The big sort of Irish mythology that I've definitely stolen and ran with. If anything, I feel like I'm adding to her lore and making the story a bit more rounded. But we have this goddess called Morrigan, who is the baddie in the book, so to speak. I guess in Irish mythology, she comes across as quite an aggressor, but she's not. She's a very loving character. But she is our goddess of prophecy, but also of life, death, and war or fate. It gets a bit jumbly, but it's basically similar to the Greeks' Mori, where they have like the 3 sisters that are like in charge of the strings of life. So it's basically identical, only they've given her an Irish name. But again, that kind of comes back to, because I traced this back, I needed to work out why all of these mythologies were slightly similar. So the Celts, I feel like I'm going to lie. Hold on. I'm going to read from the book about where the Celts, because I don't want to accidentally lie and then have my mum tell me off again. Hold on.
I love it.
So hold on. Where did the Celts come from? So we have evidence in the 5th century BC of Greek influence on Irish culture at that time. However, we should also consider the origins of Celts themselves. Early sources place Celts in Western Europe, so perhaps some of them actually came from Greece, and that's why a lot of the mythology is kind of all jumbled up. That's in the book as well. So I've literally just had to go to the dedication and make sure I've got my facts right.
I love that.
Oh.
I love when authors build in like historical references and time periods. As a kid, I hated history class. I think it was just the teacher that taught me. But as I've grown older and I've watched like TV shows and movies that build in that historical fiction, but also some of the facts, excuse me, it makes it so much more interesting for me. So I love that you're bringing the historical components with the mythology into your book to make it more understandable. Very cool.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to do that throughout the rest of the book. So there's lots of sort of local, I guess, questions about like, why on earth is this here? We've got no reason for this being like the way it is. So a really good story is there is in the National Museum of Ireland, there is just a random canoe that they found in a bog, but the bog was very inland. So the story goes that some guy was just canoeing somewhere off the coast of Galway and he thought he was going to return to his canoe, so he put some leaves over it, but he just didn't return. There's loads of just like jokey stories about why that is, but like it's in a museum, so I thought I would just take that little bit of history, add a story to it, and pop it in the book as well. So it's going to be in the next book. It's not in this book. I'm not that smart. I think of these things and I go, oh, that would have been really good if I'd thought of that a year ago.
It's really funny because, sorry, Miranda. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was just saying that's okay because you can build it into the next one, just like you said.
I think it's cool because my husband's best friend married somebody from Ireland, and he was is military. And when she came over and we met the first couple times, she would be telling me all these stories. And she's like, don't you guys have a story like that in the United States? And we're like, no. And she's like, oh, well, we were always told that you guys have like your own version of this. And we're like, no, but you can tell me all you want about this story because it sounds amazing.
Yeah,
like the canoe
just
story.
keep
Like,
talking.
I'm like, I'm like, keep telling me more about this because I want to learn.
But I was speaking to my friend last night. I'm watching the prequel series to Yellowstone.
Oh,
and I was just like, America is so young. Like, obviously there were, native people there before everybody arrived. Like Yellowstone as a fictional, it's not fictional, it's real, but like that TV show, that's only 5 generations and they all like came over on the Mayflower. And I was just like, but that's like recent history. So yeah, I think in a couple of 1,000 years, your ancestors will now have stories to say about this time.
You guys.
We'll get there. Yeah, I love 1883. I feel like I love 1883 more than I love the whole Yellowstone series. It's my favorite. It's so good watching
I
them
think
go
I'm
on
thinking
the
the
Oregon
same,
Trail.
definitely.
Yeah, so cool.
See,
Let's do a little bit of a lightning round. So just whatever pops into your head. If Finding Autumn had a signature candle scent, what would it be?
It does have a signature candle scent.
What?
I wish I could like waft it over to you. I'll post you some. So I need to remember what it is. It's Nordic wood and something else. No, Nordic. It's supposed to smell like cane, and cane smells like, like after a thunderstorm where like everything outside's really wet and fresh. So it's like Nordic wood and something else that I can't remember the name of. And I wish I had one in front of me because
have a new book boyfriend.
Gosh.
Yeah.
When do you not?
Does she say this to everybody?
Have a candle that I can smell and be like, that's my man.
Or do you guys have any like wax melt burner things? Because I've got loads of them in wax melt. So I'll post you some.
Oh my gosh. I will
try. Let's show this off for just a second because it's super cool. It's the Hogwarts castle.
I can't really see it. It's blurry.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry.
It's the
Oh,
Hogwarts
it's a Harry
castle.
Potter castle.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cool.
I love it.
But yeah,
She's a
I
Harry
Perfect.
Potter
Your
fan.
homes are going to smell amazing.
yeah.
Well, I got a new book room. It's got to smell like a man
There you
somehow.
go. Yeah, make it smell bookish. Love it.
I bet. A playlist. Like, what do you listen to? Let me rephrase this. If Finding Autumn had a playlist, what would the vibe be?
So I don't think it would be like songs. It would probably be more like musicals.
Yeah.
So obsessed with Hamilton, obviously. Hadestown, if anybody's seen that, loved Hadestown. Or like if you do want an artist, I am really obsessed with like Noah Khan, Hosier, or like Lewis Capaldi.
Yeah.
That's just like on repeat all the time. Or Mumford and Sons. Or
Yeah.
this is a really bad quick fire round because now I'm just like thinking too hard and adding to the list. I'm like, or this, or that, or those people.
What's funny because
No.
we're feeding into it too.
No, as many answers as you want. It's all good.
Yeah.
If Finding Autumn had a cover redesign in any art style, what would it be?
So something very exciting is happening in the next couple of weeks in terms of cover design. I guess if Finding Autumn was to have a cover design, it would look very colourful and vibrant, whilst also sort of opening a little bit of a window to the dark side of autumn and the dark side of the book, and some of the sort of more challenging emotions that the characters go through. So picture the cover brighter and more flowers. I'm obsessed with flowers, so I think all of the books are just going to be really floral, but I really want to lean in more to the fact that it's a fantasy book so that, you know, if you do see it in a shop, you would know right away what it is. There might be a little rejazz coming soon.
I love when we accidentally like
Miranda can put a
trip
picture
on
of the book.
something coming
You know,
soon.
if I just
She's really good at that. This is my favorite question. If you could pick any actor and actress for your main characters, who would it be?
guys, I've done a TikTok on this already.
Oh, I missed it.
It's fine. It's probably way down. It was when I was like confident and excited about TikTok. So I think did you guys see the BBC's sort of like kids TV show called Merlin?
I want to say we
maybe.
did.
So the guy who plays Merlin, I can't remember his name, but he's from a bit sort of northwest from here. I think he would be perfect if he got new hair. But one person that probably would be perfect is Aidan Turner, who played your fella in Poldark. And what else was Aidan Turner in? Well, he was one of the elves in The Hobbit. He was probably the only one that didn't have prosthetics, so he was one of the hot ones. I think him. Just anyone with dark hair, Irish accent that's pretty fit.
Miranda will insert a picture.
Yes. I like to put in like a
Several.
circle frame and just slide it in there.
Yeah, so everybody knows.
So we heard that you're also a nursing instructor and intellectual disability nurse, which is incredible, especially with you writing and being an author on top of it. Does your medical background ever sneak its way into your writing, or do you keep the fantasy and the real life totally separate?
So the first sort of storyline of Finding Autumn, Ava was a nurse. And it was very much going along the lines of her healing people and having that really caring, compassionate, and perhaps even sort of having compassion fatigue, which quite a lot of nurses, and I'm sure teachers and probably anyone in that kind of people-y roles have. But then when I started to sort of look into like toxic family relationships and like being a people pleaser, it just didn't really, I mean, it could have easily fit, but in terms of where the story was going, it didn't fit really nicely. In Finding Spring, which is the next book, the female lead character is a midwife by profession, so there's a little bit of that in there. And kind of sort of a bit of a hint of where her challenges kind of come from and where she might end up going on that journey. But yeah, I think I sort of ended up keeping it separate just because that's just where the story was kind of going. It didn't really make sense to force Eva into being a nurse. That just wasn't fair. Yeah. There is a hospital though, if that helps. She does go to the hospital.
Well, it helps you at least, yeah. That's cool. That's so. How do you have time?
Right?
I don't know. I don't sleep.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah. I also realized that I just don't have hobbies. Like I don't know. I just decided that I don't like any of my hobbies. I've got a craft room full of just stuff that I've spent so much money on that is covered in dust. I live beside the water. We've got kayaks and boats. And I'm just like, well, I'd rather just stay in and type.
I'm kind of like
I'm just
that
going to write a
too.
story instead. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
homebody.
I'm just stay at home and write basically. So all my free time is writing or thinking about writing, or I'm reading, or I'm researching, or sitting there staring off into space, disassociating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. So as we're talking about writing, tell us a little bit about your writing rituals. Are you a quiet corner blanket and tea writer, or are you like, well, we talked about how you like Hamilton and stuff, but are you like a chaotic playlist and have like 6 tabs open writer?
I don't know. I've been procrastinating quite a lot the past couple of months. So I feel like I don't have any rituals and I don't have any habits. And I think it's quite hard to like set like a proper routine because I don't, I have dyslexia. So I do find, although I touch type and that's probably like the best skill I've ever learned. When I've got thoughts or maybe even just pictures in my head, I find it really hard to translate that into words. So I tend to just like dictate into a Word document and just word vomit. And then I'll go over it a couple of times to make it make sense. Make the dialogue actually be where dialogue's supposed to go. Put full stops in. So I think it's tricky for me to have that kind of routine because it's just me talking to myself, and then I get bored of hearing my own voice, and then or like my mum just lets herself into my house and joins in, and all of a sudden her voice is in the record. I'm like, so I think predominantly I would spend a lot of my time thinking and contemplating, and I voice note my friend quite a lot and would like send her little clips, be like, oh, what do you think of this? Or, you know, no need to reply to this, but I'm just rambling off in a story. So if I'm on a dog walk or something, I might get an idea. Or there's one time I was at a concert and I was just not vibing with the music. So I took myself off into a corner, was just typing into my notes app.
Love that.
So I'm just, I don't know, seize the moment, carpe diem kind of author, I guess.
I like it. It's something that
I
we
hope I
haven't
used
heard a lot
carpe
of.
diem correctly there. I've never used it before in my life.
I think you did.
Yes, seize the moment. Yeah. I think that's a great way to write. Not only because you're overcoming the struggles of having dyslexia, and so you're not having to type it all out, because I've had students that have difficulties with that. So I understand how hard it can be to get everything out of your head and into the paper in a way that makes sense. So you being able to dictate it is awesome, but you can also do it anywhere. Like you don't have to have a lot of tools to be able to get your ideas down. So that's awesome too.
Yeah, it's new age writing.
Yeah.
Your book feels timeless, pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope readers feel when they turn the final page?
I hope you cry. I want people to cry. I don't know. I think, gosh, I don't know, maybe driven or inspired, perhaps. There's a couple of moments in the book where it does get quite deep, and sort of Ava really thinks about herself and how she's gotten there and this intense loneliness that she feels. So I really hope that somebody reads that, maybe sort of feels connected somehow, and hopefully is able to see, oh, okay, well, I know I need to actually do something about this because I'm really connecting with this character on that level, and I'm recognizing that perhaps something needs to change, very much like what Ava sort of does near the tail end of the book as well. So there's a lot of kind of elements that I mean, you know yourselves, we're all readers here. We're all sort of slightly introverted, maybe a bit quirky. So I'm sure we're all cut from the same thread, where we're all maybe a little bit people pleasery. Maybe at some point we've felt really intense loneliness. And that's very much what Ava feels. And it's her sort of start of the journey of overcoming that. And so I'm hoping people pick up on that. But it's not a happy ending. I don't really like endings. Like I say none of the stuff I've written, so none of the like journal articles or assignments or dissertations I've written, the conclusions are rubbish. I am bad at endings. I'm bad at relationship endings. I'm just bad at finishing things. That's another thing. I can't just finish something. My bathroom's been half done for months, and then I've moved on to my kitchen. My kitchen is half painted, and it's been half painted for weeks. I don't do endings very well.
Ashley sounds so similar.
Yes. 100%. Because when we moved into this house, so we live in, like I said, in an old hay barn out in the middle of nowhere. In the 70s, my great grandparents came over and they made it into, my my great grandma was an artist, so she was a painter. So the whole downstairs was an art gallery, and the
Cool.
kitchen was like a canning kitchen. It's so cool. And then the upstairs was an apartment so that they could live here. And then as more of our family came, they're like, oh, we need to turn the downstairs into another apartment. So there's a downstairs apartment and an upstairs apartment, and there's like a way to walk through the house to get upstairs. But when we moved in here, it hadn't been redone since the 70s.
Oh, God.
So the floors needed torn out, walls needed painted, like all these things. And it was a 2-bedroom house. It now has 4 bedrooms downstairs. So we've done all this stuff, and I'm terrible about just finishing it. Like, I just finished my living room floors, and we've lived here for 5 years now.
Pretty close,
So
yeah.
I have walls. Yeah, I have walls half painted, all the things.
Yeah, I feel you. We moved in and there was just no storage. So I was like, I'm going to learn to build my own cabinets. It's just another hobby I picked up and didn't stick to. So I've got like a room full of cabinets that I built and then decided I don't like doing this anymore. So there's just like holes in the walls, unfinished, everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
It'll get done
This
eventually.
is my friend.
Yeah, in time.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
goodness.
So last question. If you could have a 1-hour lunch with either Mother Nature or Father Time, who are you picking and what are you asking them first?
It's really difficult.
I know.
I would love to ask Mother Time how the book finishes because I don't really know. No, yeah. So I think Mother Time, as the series progresses, I do want to kind of delve into some of the things that we blame Mother Nature on. Like Finding Spring is going to be about fertility. I've struggled with fertility. I hate the fact that people blame it on Mother Nature. It's like, oh, it's just nature. It's not meant to be. And like, but that's not fair. I don't like it. And then Finding Winter is kind of about the chaos and the anger that comes with weather. And I'm just like, why? Like, why you gotta be so angry? And then the same with Summer, because Summer isn't actually all that special, really. It's hot. There's fires. It's not really that nice. So again, why? And just I'd probably have those types of conversations. Father Time will have different types of conversations with because he's a good looking fella.
Especially if you can smell him all the time.
Yeah, that's the first thing I'll do. Go up and give him a big sniff.
My goodness.
Do you smell like? I think I would ask Mother Nature why mosquitoes.
Yeah, why? Yeah. Or
Of
even just
all
like
the
midges,
things.
like the smallest hay fever. I have hay fever.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
Why make us allergic to stuff that is just in the air? Why put it in the air?
Yeah.
Why can't it stay on the ground?
Yeah.
Why?
There's
Why
so
do
much
it?
that she has done that upsets me.
Because she's
Seaweed.
angry all the time.
I hate seaweed.
Oh.
There's no need to have seaweed. The fish can eat other things. There's other things in the sea for them to eat. They don't need seaweed.
Yes.
It stinks.
Or leave it like in the very deep parts of the
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
where it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah, not where you're wading into the lake. We don't want that. Take it outward.
Yeah. Or like when the tide goes out and it just stinks and there's flies and you're just like, this is not like an attractive beach. This is smelly. I don't like it. It's yucky.
Not cute.
No. So if you guys are watching this, what would you ask either Mother Nature or Father Time? We want to know. Like, what would be like your number one question that you'd have to ask?
Or complaint.
Yes. Why
We'll have to
tornadoes?
open like a complaint system, like some kind of call center.
Insert your comment card.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Goodness.
Okay, Miranda. Let's send
All
her
right.
off.
That wraps up our questions. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining us on our show. It was a
Thank you.
blast. Definitely.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it was so great to be able to talk to you and learn more about Finding Autumn. It sounds like an incredible read, and we can't wait to pick it up. We are going to put everything Rebecca related into the caption there so that you can access socials,
The
access
YouTubers
the
do.
book. Yes.
Yeah.
I know I do that every time.
Click here.
Right there. It's down there, guys. But otherwise,
I'd
we
be
will
like,
be...
my video, but it's actually on the side.
I know you're like, wait, we'll be back next week with more stories, or maybe next week. It'll probably be earlier than that since we're doing it more often. Anyways, more stories, more chaos. and maybe Ash will have some more fictional crushes. Until then, keep mashing those books, and we'll catch you the next time on the Weekly Mash.